U.S. ICE agents have been north of here arresting wildland firefighters while they're working to put out fires north of here in Washington state. They're arresting illegal aliens that have been working with contract crews, 20-man hand crews. Now, for 20 some odd years, I have a lot of experience fighting wildland fire at the private level, state, and for the feds. And I can give you some insight in what's happening. Well, my take might be a little bit different than what's being reported in the news. First off, if we have illegal aliens that are being employed in this country, I don't care if they're fighting fire, if they're picking fruit, or they're working construction, they've got to go. We have laws on the books. We pride ourselves of being a nation of laws, and if you and I were to break these laws, you can better believe that we'd be thrown in a cage. So we need to enforce them, and that's just the way that it is. This nonsense, this argument that has been around for as long as I can remember, that illegals have to come in because they do the work that Americans won't do, that is a lie, and that is not true. They say that, but what the truth is that illegals will come in and do the work that Americans will do for a whole lot less. And that's what it comes down to, the bottom dollar. Here's what's going on with these fire crews. When a young man signs up at 18 or so to get on a 20-person hand crew, he starts at a wage, let's say $20, $25 an hour. It's relatively low for the hard work that you have to do and the risk that you take, not to mention the abuse that it puts upon your body. Smoke, 16-hour days, there's nothing more physical to it. It really breaks you down. But a lot of guys will be willing to go there and do that for a relatively low pay because they know if they stick with it, if they're trying to raise money for college, the next season, it'll bump them up a little bit. Maybe they're 30. A third year, you start to get some experience. Now you might be up to 32, 33. Fourth year, you could be approaching $36, $38 an hour. So you're willing to go there and to learn it so that you can advance and hopefully make a little bit of money, maybe pay off your college, maybe buy a car, maybe get yourself a head start in life. Now, these private companies are contracted by the U.S. government. Before the fire season, they negotiate a price. If I can provide a 20-man crew, I might go to them and say, I can offer you this crew, and it'll be for a fixed price. The government signs off on it, they write an agreement, and that's good. Now, the private contractor has the incentive. The less he can pay his guys, the more money comes in his pocket. The federal government doesn't really care if you have a first year, a second year, a third year, fourth year guy. All they want is numbers and bodies, to be honest. It's too big, it's too much to manage, and that's what it comes down to. So you get guys that have put their time in, first year, second year, third year, they're not getting called up. These are U.S. citizens. These are your sons and your daughters. They're not getting called up because illegals will come in and do the job, fill the seat so that the private contractors can receive their check and make more money. I don't know how you feel about illegal immigration. I don't know what you believe. But here's the truth, whether it be truck driving or picking fruit or construction or fighting wildland firefighter, I promise you there are young men, young women that will gladly do those jobs. My YouTube channel has over 2.5 million subscribers. My demographic is 96, 97% male, and almost half of that demographic is made up from 18 to 26. And I talk to them. I've talked to them for years. There are young men that would give their eye teeth to go out and to work on fires. But they also expect a living wage. You can't expect people to live in the conditions that illegals will. I mean, I live in rural country. I know how it is. Some of these farms, they'll pull up a small trailer, an RV or a single wide. They'll put 8, 10 guys in there, stacked on top of each other. And you call that humane? That's just unacceptable. It's unacceptable for illegal aliens, and it's unacceptable certainly for U.S. citizens. I say get them out of here. I'm all for the federal government going through there and pulling those guys off the fire lines. I think that anyone who hires illegal aliens, anyone who's undercutting and trying to profit and not sharing that profit, not sharing that windfall with their employees, taking care of their employees, and just getting the bottom dollar so that they can make more, I think that they should be stripped of all U.S. contracts. They should never be able to throw their hat in the ring again. Pay a man what he deserves to get. I have someone intimately in my circle who was third-year firefighter that didn't go out this year. And I believe, I don't know this to be true, but I believe that others took his place because they were cheaper so that the private contractor could make more money. Whereas you would have, if we'd pay a decent wage, we could have guys that have second, third, 4 years of experience. How much more wisdom do you have in that? How much safer are they going to be able to be? How can they, much better are they going to be able to mentor the young firefighters rather than just burning through people and just taking advantage and basically legalize slavery? So my heart doesn't bleed. I know the media is all up in arms. I know people think that it's the worst thing in the world. Oh, the ICE is up there taking firefighters away from their job. There's a bigger picture to it. The reason why they're up there and the reason why they're doing that is because the private contractors don't want to pay a decent wage, and they're pocketing the money themselves, and they're taking away opportunities of firefighters that have put their time in and well deserve a living wage or a decent income for that difficult work. So that's my take on it. May God bless you. Remember, things are not always as they seem. Keep us in your prayers, and we'll see you all on the next video.